time now for today's Focus Report. The oceans off West Africa are teeming with life. Fish is a staple of many diets in the region and also accounts for the livelihoods of hundreds of thousands of families in countries like Senegal and Sierra Leone. But their way of life is increasingly under threat as, far from the shore, industrial vessels trawl in huge quantities of fish illegally. Greenpeace describes the situation as a wild west in Africa's oceans. Kyle Brown reports from the Esperanza, the 70-metre-long ship that's been charged with investigating West Africa's illegal fishing crisis.
Along the coast of Senegal in the East Atlantic Ocean, local fishermen return from a long night at sea. At the town of Joal Fadiout in the south, artisanal fishers bring back sea bass, snapper and sardines. The catch is quickly put on ice and transported to market. But fishermen say they now have to venture further out for fewer fish. Abdou Karim Saul monitors the area for illegal activities, both by small fishers and industrial vessels.
What's happening in Senegal with industrial fishing is catastrophic. They overexploit our resources. They destroy the habitat. There are no observers. But the worst is the way they target species. If a boat is fishing for octopus, they'll throw away anything that isn't octopus, already dead.
Further north, hundreds of dead fish have been discovered by Greenpeace off the coast of Mauritania. The team has come to research the impact of industrial fishing on West African waters. From the Esperanza, they launch inflatable boats to investigate. Local fishermen say they've seen this before. The discards are a boon, and they have to act fast while the fish is still fresh. Do you often find dead fish here?
Yes. There are Chinese and Turkish boats here. They're here to catch pelagic fish like sardines, but sometimes they find other kinds of fish, and if they're of no use, they just throw them away.
An estimated 7 million tons of fish are discarded worldwide every year. Just one meager, similar to sea bass, could feed a family. The crew will now take a sample back to the Esperanza.
It's fresh. It's not a cold fish. This is such a waste of resources in an area where people are actually looking for making a little bit of income. And they are just throwing these kind of beautiful big fish overboard because you don't want them, because they're not valuable enough.
Most coastal states in the region lack the resources to police their long coastlines and the ocean beyond. Home to rich fisheries, West African waters attract commercial fishers from all over the world. With the help of colleagues on land, the team aboard the Esperanza has been building a database of vessels to look out for, and they consult satellite and radar to see what lies ahead.
At the moment, we're approaching 3 fishing vessels, 2 Chinese ones and 1 unidentified. We're going close enough to be able to get a picture of their names, and we have their positions right here. This one might be fishing, these 2 are just hanging out.
Meanwhile, the crew has spotted another boat transferring fish, and they try to find out more. Unaware of who Greenpeace is, the captain invited them aboard, until he realized that they were not the Coast Guard.
I think that you are the Coast Guard, but I see that you are not Coast Guard. So tell me please, why you want to visit my ship?
We would like to visit your ship to have a better understanding of the fishing operation and your involvement in it.
Okay, now I don't want you come on my board.
I copy that. I understand that you have changed your invitation and you would rather us not to visit.
Spotting the fishing vessels on the radar, the Esperanza then tries to track them down, sailing up and down the West African coast, searching for signs of illegal activity. But they don't always get permission from captains to board for a closer look, and that's where the maritime authorities come in. In March and April, Greenpeace conducted joint patrols with each of the coast guards in Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone and Guinea. This vessel was spotted transshipping, illegal in Guinea-Bissau when away from port. The boat is flagged to the Comoros, but makes frequent stops in Las Palmas, Spain.
This Salé, prepare give fish to Salé, to go port. No, yeah, finish transport, finish.
After 3 weeks of patrols, the Esperanza helped arrest a dozen vessels. Infractions by mainly Chinese and European fishers include shark finning and transshipments, which can allow operators to conceal their catch and launder illegally caught fish. The UN's Food and Agricultural Organization says more than 3/4 of the world's marine species are fully exploited, overexploited, or depleted altogether. But Greenpeace urges more regional cooperation in an area where vessels that have operated illegally in one country have been able to continue fishing in neighboring waters.
What is really needed is that those countries come together and start talking to each other about these marine resources. Only when they do it jointly, actually make a fair distribution of the amount of fish that is available and what can be taken out and distributed among the participating countries, you can actually preserve this resource for the upcoming generations as well.
As the Esperanza sets sail for home, the crew uses the time to carry out maintenance, work out and relax. As the crew leaves, West African governments face a choice between maximizing the revenues from a growing global demand for seafood and meeting the needs of their people, who depend on fish as a key part of their diet.